Hi, it's Tarrant.
And Stella from Maple University. Welcome to our review of Coral Reef, Ecosystem Coral Reef.
Yes. This is the follow-up to the game Ecosystem, which was released a couple of years ago now. Must be a few years ago now, actually. I think we played it at PAX, which must have been pre-COVID.
So they both are published by Genius Games, and Ecosystem plays 2 to 6 players. Ecosystem Coral Reef plays 2 to 6 players with solo variant and 2-player variant. So it's a bit different and obviously different theme and so on. We are going to do an overview of Ecosystem Coral Reef and what we think of it, and then slightly different between the first one and the second one. So this is a sequel.
It's a sequel.
Not even expansion.
A standalone sequel. They're not combinable. It is a separate game.
Yep, indeed. All right.
Yes. So the game itself is very simple, and the game itself plays the same way as the original Ecosystem. It's a draft. You get 10 cards. You choose one you want. You hand them off to the next player, and you flip it over, and you're building a 4x5 grid of animals, and
Plankton.
Yeah, I think they're all animals. Plankton might be protozoa or something.
Yeah.
You get your 10 cards drafted and down. You draw another 10 cards, draft them in the opposite direction, and you're trying to build up a 4x5 grid that scores the most points.
That's it. So really simple rules. And then each tile placement part of it, now that has got different rules to it.
Yes, so the types of cards can be broken into 4 types. There is producers, which is your tiny little things, coral and krill and plankton, the stuff that just gets eaten. Then you've got prey, which are smaller fish that eat these tiny things but then get eaten by the bigger fish, who are the predators, the eels and sharks and stuff. And then there's a couple of other ones that don't fall into any of those types. They all score points in different ways. So coral, you want them on the bottom. Krill, you want little sets of krill adjacent to each other. Plankton, you want to have the most plankton. You get majority points for that. Groupers want to be next to krill. Clownfish want to be next to plankton and coral. Crab want to be in the same row as plankton. Eels eat any prey. Sharks eat any prey. Whales eat krill.
It's quite thematic as well.
Yeah. Octopus lets you swap cards after you've placed them, which is quite nice and is worth a few points. And turtles will score if they're spread apart so that every row and column has a turtle. That's where you'll get the most points for them. Then the other big part is you've got to try to be balanced among these 3 types. It's called the food web bonus. So you total up all your producer points, all of your prey points, all of your predator points, and whichever of those 3 is the lowest, you'll double. And that's the game.
That's the game. So featuring beautiful artwork of the sea life, firstly, the sharks. I think I remember in the old Ecosystem there's a turtle equivalent of the game.
There is. That is the... So I've got it here for comparison purposes.
Let's do the comparison first then.
Yeah, that's the deer. Oops.
Yeah.
The deer are the turtle equivalent. From a comparison standpoint, it's the same game with different animals and a different set of scoring. That's really what I say. It is the same game with a different set of scores. And there are a few similar animals and there are a few that are different. The big thing that Coral Reef introduces is those 3 categorizations, the producers, prey and predators. You didn't have that in Ecosystem.
And the first, the solo and 2-player variant.
There wasn't a 2-player draft variant.
No, like it's a kind of like fake 3rd player which you draft together, which actually is really nice for a 2-player because otherwise you just don't see enough animals for 2 players. I don't know, it just feels better 3 players, 4 players otherwise.
Yep. And the food web bonus, in the original game, that was a diversity bonus where you would score negative points for each individual scoring animal type that you scored nothing from. So this gave you an incentive to have every single type of animal. This one gives you an incentive to
Balance.
score evenly among your different types.
So this is more like positive reinforcement. This is more negative reinforcement. It is true,
Indeed.
though. Yeah, it is. So have you formed which one you like better? I'm gonna point at the same time in the count of 3. Which one you like better on
Sure.
the card? Ready? So as in like 1, 2, 3, go, right?
Yep.
1, 2, 3, go. All right. So I like the coral reef newer version better, while Taryn like the older version better. Why do you like the older version better?
So I think what I found was this one is an easier entry point. And what makes it an easier entry point is that it these categorizations make it easier to organize your thoughts on what card needs to be near what. The big ones are always trying to eat the small ones. That was kind of the case in Ecosystem thematically, but you didn't have those categorizations, and there were a few things like streams that would score based on, that would score differently. So it was a bit harder to keep track of what combos off what in the original game.
That's probably why
Which
I
I
like this
liked.
one. Okay, this one that is why I like this one better.
Yeah.
This is interesting. All right, keep going.
Yeah, because I think, the only difference is how these scores work. And I think what I found here was there were a few obvious, you could kind of split them in 2 or 3 and just focus on one and still score pretty well.
Which I like.
Yeah,
Like it should be like that option to just focus on a few rather than having to have all of them.
Yeah, but in a drafting game, if I'm focusing on krill and you can see I'm focusing on krill, it's like, all right, I'll go and focus on plankton. And then we both just get the cards we want.
No, or it's
We're
like,
not-
okay,
it's
you
not
are focusing
like-
on krill. I better just take some krills off you then.
But you'll get more points by than I'll lose. And that's the
But
way
that's
these
why
are.
there's a balancing here, like, Sorry, keep going.
Yeah. I mean, that was my thought. I remember having to think a lot harder to make this one work
Works, yeah.
when playing this. This one, it felt a little more straightforward.
Yeah.
So it's only a very slight
Yeah,
difference,
yeah.
though.
Yeah, it's like I still like the original one and this one as well. It's just like it's slightly like in my head, oh my gosh, like I have to do this. They have a lot to remember. While this one is more streamlined and more gateway. And as you said, so I would personally like this one. It's an easy one to get to the table with really simple rules. You basically, all right, you draft 10. And then draft another 10. That's it, 20 cards. And then everyone has got really great reference cards, which I wouldn't go without it. And that's the game.
Yep.
Everyone enjoy it. Quite a good getaway game. Might even play at Christmas time.
Maybe.
I'll vouch for playing this at Christmas with your family. Anyways, play 6 as well, which helps with higher player counts. I would recommend higher player counts than lower player counts, as with other drafting games, I reckon. Considering it's also a quick game, it's not like a lot of like you do things, players doing it simultaneously.
I like drafting at lower player counts actually because
You're so mean.
Because you can try to predict what's going to come back to you and work out, do I take it? The question of do I take it now is not just what's my most valuable card now. It's
What's your most valuable?
what's my most valuable and do I think these 1 or 2 people will take it from me?
Well, Taryn likes to be in control a little bit more than me. So I would recommend both games, Ecosystem and Ecosystem Coral Reef, for this is a really good fillers. Play after 6.
Yep.
And that's it. We haven't played the solo yet, but it plays after 6.
Yeah. Coral Reef is definitely an easier entry point. This organisation, it will absolutely help players who haven't seen it before.
Indeed. So that's it. Have you played Ecosystem? Have you heard of Ecosystem Coral Reef? Maybe you have played both. Which one's your favorite? Let us know in the comments, or any other games that are kind of like similar to these two. And that's it, Aaron.
That's it.
If you find it useful somehow, it will be really helpful as well. Please hit the like button and subscribe to us if you haven't done that. We've done how to play, a review like this, and then live plays for the weekend. I'm also on Instagram. Find me there as well, and hopefully we'll see you next time. Thanks for watching. Bye.
Right.